Mums with Hustle podcast, episode 538.
Welcome to the Mums with Hustle podcast, where you'll discover everyday mum entrepreneurs killing it in their industry. Learn the secrets you can replicate to create your own success with your host, Tracy Harris.
Okay, let's talk about when you are visible, but it's not converting. And I'm talking specifically to people that are, say, marketing on Instagram and you're being consistent, you're posting, you're showing up, the engagement is actually fine. People tell you all the time how much they love your content, probably more often to your face than they are in the comments, because let's be real, some people are very stingy with their comments. So if people are liking your stuff or they're saying, I enjoy following you, then why is your inbox quiet? Why are the inquiries that you're getting from people who can't afford you? Or people that then say, I'm just not ready yet? Or people that just are not the right fit? And why does the thought of posting again tomorrow make you want to close your laptop and throw it in the pool? Or is that just me? Anytime I have like a tech issue, actually, fun fact, all the way from like university, if I had my phone or a laptop just like not behaving itself, I just was like, I'm going to throw this sucker in the pool. Anyway, so it's always the pool analogy for me. But you know what I mean? That moment when you're so frustrated, or maybe you're like, screw this, I'm going to go for a walk on the beach instead. Well, here's what people are not really telling you. I don't believe, and this is going to sound a little controversial to some people, and I'm not meaning to offend, but I have to set the record straight on this, like for this entire community. You don't have a visibility problem, okay? I believe that most people have a translation problem. It's a strategy problem. They just aren't using the right words to communicate their offers in a way that their audience understands it and then wants it. Because being more visible when you have ineffective messaging, it's actually making things worse. Okay, so stick with me here. Visibility, right? If we're just going to chase visibility all the time, it amplifies whatever messaging you already have. So if your messaging is sharp, it means eyes from the right fit buyers, like more eyes from those people, which is so wonderful. Like no one's ever going to not want that. But if your messaging is fuzzy and more eyes means more wrong fit people in your DMs, like people who can't afford it, more, oh, I love this kind of comments, but no purchasing behavior behind it. And it's just more of your energy going out into being consistent that maybe even performs well socially, but not commercially. That's a problem. The women this happens to most are the ones who are genuinely good at what they do. They are so deep in their expertise that it's infuriating. I feel like if you get sad hearing this, because maybe you experience this, it's like, I think that the sadness is valid. I get it because I have been there myself, putting out consistent content for years and having people, sometimes even inquire and then be like, oh, I can't afford it. Or let me go ask my husband. I heard that one for years until I just stopped marketing to those people. And I'm not talking about the general people that just like have common courtesy and like want to go and talk to their partner or their spouse and just like let them know, hey, this is something in my business where I've got a knowledge gap or a skill gap and I'm thinking about going and doing this thing. And it's more just like informing versus needing to prove to a man that you need this or you're worthy of this or you're going to see this through or like how much is this going to make me, like all of those annoying conversations. I used to have the majority of women, who weren't purchasing from me would have that as an objection, like they didn't get their husband's approval or they need to go and ask their husband. And so I'm just like, okay, I am attracting someone that clearly does need help, but I'm not really going to be able to support this person. They just never translate into being a customer. So I had to shift my messaging on who I was talking to. So your buyer is just going to scroll past you if you're not using the right words. Or they might like your post because it resonates, but she doesn't make a move. because nothing in the content makes her take that extra step, that leap from, ooh, this person is so smart, or, oh, that looks like a really fun membership to be a part of, to, I'm in, take my money. Where has this been all my life? So 3 signs that you're being visible, but you're not translating and you're not converting. Okay. So number 1 is that strangers who come across you, let's just say you end up randomly in their feeds, they cannot tell what you do in under 5 seconds spent on your profile. They just have no idea. It's not visible. So you could actually even go and check this right now. Like, just take yourself out of it and you can be like, go to your own profile and just look at it and give yourself 5 seconds. Like, visually, can you tell what this person does? Yes or no, or in this case, it's yourself. Yes or no? Well, if you can't, strangers can't. Okay. Sign number 2 is that your highest engaged posts are the ones that are just so far from what you do, from your offer, from your messaging, from your mission. Like, it's just so detached, but yet that's the post that's going well for you. Sign number 3 is that the inquiries you do get are from people who aren't your buyer for whatever reason. Maybe it's the way that they think and behave. Maybe it's price point. Maybe it's, this looks so great. I really wish I was like in this era. Da, da, da. They're saying everything so complimentary, but they're not your buyer. So the advice that some people give is that you just need to post more. Now, forever, I've always said, it's not about how much you post. It's about the quality of your content and is it converting? Because we are running businesses in this community. So posting more is actually the worst advice for someone who has a messaging problem. It is the equivalent of yelling louder in a language that your audience does not speak. It's like, imagine someone yelling at you in a language that is not your native language. It's not a language you even understand. I mean, they're speaking words, but you can't hear it. So the fix is not volume and getting louder or being more visible. The fix is translation. What you're saying is lost in translation. We're not even on the same frequency. We cannot hear what you are saying. Oh my gosh, this pained me for so long in my business. It just brought me so much frustration. And then once I switched it, my revenue just continued to go up and up and up. And this is the thing that I'm seeing and have seen for years with my mentees. It's like one of the first things that I have to work with them on is fixing their messaging. And I call this the $1 million message. And maybe you've heard me talk about this before, but it is challenging. It is something that we need to slow down and do. And sometimes it's something that we need to circle back to and we need to do it again. And sometimes we need to refine it as we get better. Because, I believe that our messaging is always evolving as we learn more about our audiences and as we take more people through our programs, our messaging actually evolves and it becomes clearer. So we need to make sure that we are fixing that in its foundation because it's going to affect every single piece of content that you put out on Instagram or every single email that you send. If you are using the wrong words, it's just not going to land in the right way. So what translation actually means is that the bridge between what you know and what she needs to hear, let's say you're serving a female audience, okay, there's a bridge there where she recognizes herself. She recognizes the problem and she recognizes that you are a guide who can help her solve it. 3 different jobs. And most content that people create and put out there is only doing one of them. So we need to make sure that our content strategy begins with the right messaging for a specific person and that our content really is a bridge where she can recognize herself, recognize the problem, and then recognize that you are a guide who can help her solve it. Now, posting through this era of, messaging mess or unclear messaging, it is exhausting. Well, at least I found it to be really exhausting. And I mean exhausting in a specific way. because it's not the workload, it's the dissonance, right? Like you can feel, and this is where my frustration came in. And when women work with me, this is how they come in feeling too. They can feel like something is off, something is not right. But every coach in their feed is putting out this message of you just need to be consistent. You just need to push through, or let's work on your visibility block. And it doesn't work. And so what that does, like these people, and I was at risk of slowly losing trust in myself. We don't want that, okay? Because then we're not going to be making sales. We're going to think, maybe I'm just not cut out for this. But it was not that you had the visibility block. Okay, it's not always that. Sometimes it is, but sometimes, and I would say most of the time, remove the emotion out of it, you're just not using the right words. It's a strategy gap. We get to fix the messaging. And so I have helped people that are super shy, people that are introverts, people that are neurodivergent and feel like, they speak at 1,000,000 miles an hour and they get sidetracked and they go on tangents. And I'm like, I've been able to help all kinds of people get laser focused with their messaging so that it lands. When it lands, we can actually put out less content, but better. Less content, but better content. And we get better inquiries. We get people arriving in our DMs already half sold because they've read themselves in your words. Or if you shared a video where you're speaking your message, they can hear themselves in your words. Now, this is something specifically that one of my mentees went through, and she shifted because she was teaching parents how to educate their children at home through play-based learning. And when she shifted the focus to, obviously she helps parents teach their children how to learn through play. But when she shifted her messaging from purely a play focus to an academic focus, all of a sudden her ideal clients were able to hear what she was saying because they valued academic progress. And so more people were signing up for her online classes and more people were joining her membership as a result. So you can go to your Instagram account right now, actually, and you can pull up your last 10 posts and ask one question of each. Just ask yourself, could this have been written by any of my competitors? Or has this just got me written all over it? If the answer is yes, for more than 3 of your posts, like as in yes, I guess any of my competitors could have written this, then you've found your problem. We need to fix the messaging. We need to begin with your $1 million message, and that is going to inform every single piece of content, which then becomes a lead domino in the rest of your funnel and your ecosystem. And that's how we use Instagram to make sales, to fill our launches, to build our email list, and to get people joining our online programs or our coaching containers. So if you've been told that the answer is just to become more visible and something in you knows that it's not that, then this is the exact work that we do inside of Freedom Filled Business, okay? You may not have a visibility problem. You highly likely don't want to show up and be visible because you're not using the right words, and that feels frustrating. You're showing up yet again with words that aren't landing. Of course, it feels depleting. Of course, you're hating showing up on Instagram. But when you do get the words right, okay, all of a sudden you want to show up because when you show up, you get inquiries. Even if the posts aren't getting loads of likes, you are getting DM inquiries from people that are already half sold. So it's not necessarily what the world is calling a visibility problem. It's a translation problem, and that can be fixed because it's just a strategy thing. So if you want to go to freedomfilledbusiness.com/apply, or you can go to tracyharris.co/apply, we can get you into Freedomville Business, and you can start with your messaging and work your way all around the Freedomville Business pathway with an offer that is irresistible, with the right price point, with the right deliverables that doesn't burn you out, and with a launch system for selling it one to many. I'm Tracy Harris. Thanks for joining me in this episode, and I cannot wait to spend time with you in the next one or inside of Freedomville Business. Bye.